Hello and welcome to this 50-minute yoga class for all levels. This class has a little something for everyone, including those who are just starting out in their yoga journey. We'll begin today's class in a comfortable seated position, so take your time getting there. And when you get there, ground down through the sit bones and lengthen through the spine. Place one hand on the belly and one hand on the heart. Begin to tune into your breath, not necessarily trying to change anything about it, just simply noticing each inhale and each exhale. Begin to draw your breath downward into the belly, so feel that hand on your belly rise with every inhale, and then feel it gently fall with each exhale. This is our most efficient breath for oxygenating the body, and it's a great way to calm the body and calm the mind to prepare yourself for your yoga practice. So take a few more of these deep belly breaths here on your own. When you're ready, release your hands to your knees and begin to take a few half neck rolls. So tucking your chin towards your chest and rolling your head over to one side, and then rolling your head back through center and over to the other side. Continuing to move and breathe here, just warming up the muscles of the neck. Finish the one you're on and lift your head back up through center. Drop your right ear towards your right shoulder, so you'll instantly start to feel a stretch all through the left side of the neck and shoulder here. You can plant your left fingertips outside your left hip. The further away that you walk those fingertips, the more of a stretch you'll feel. You can also sweep your right arm up and overhead, cupping that left ear, using it as gentle resistance to draw that right ear closer towards your right shoulder. Breathe. And either hold here or maybe take a few head nods. So tucking your chin towards your chest and then lifting your head back up. Just continuing to work through the left side of the neck here. Good. Release that right hand and drop your left ear towards your left shoulder. So now you'll feel a stretch all along the right side of the neck and shoulder here. Again, you can plant your right fingertips out to the side, and the further away that you walk those fingertips, the more of a stretch you'll feel. If you'd like to take this stretch a step further, again, you can sweep that left arm up and overhead, cupping that right ear, using your hand as gentle resistance to pull that left ear closer down towards that left shoulder. And either hold here or take those head nods. So tuck your chin towards your chest and then lift your head back up, just continuing to work through the right side of the neck here. Continuing to breathe. Release your hand off your head and roll your head back up through center. Plant your right palm outside your right hip and sweep your left arm up and overhead, getting a side body stretch. Gaze wherever feels right for your neck. You could be looking down towards the mat or up towards the ceiling. Keep your weight evenly grounded through both hips. Inhale, come up through center, left hand down, right arm sweeps up and overhead. Again, keeping your weight evenly grounded. If you feel that right hip starting to pop up a little bit, gently pressing it down. Getting a nice side body stretch here. And on your next inhale, lift yourself back up through center, sweep both arms up and overhead, and take a gentle twist to your right. Left hand comes to your knee, right hand plants behind you, soft gaze over that right shoulder. With your inhale, see if you can lengthen a little bit through the spine, and with your exhale, see if you can twist a little bit deeper. Sweep your right arm up and cross it over your left. So right hand will come to your left knee. Tuck your chin towards your chest and lean back. Feel the stretch through the upper back and the back of the neck here. Breathe. Inhale, come back up to a tall spine. Twist to your left. Right hand will stay where it is. Left hand plants behind you for support. Gaze over the left shoulder. Again, find length in the spine on your inhale, and then twist a little bit deeper on your exhale. Left arm will sweep up and cross over the right, so left hand comes to your right knee. Tuck your chin and lean back. Next inhale, come back up to a tall spine, sweep your arms up overhead, interlace your fingers behind your head, and then inhale, open your elbows, lift your gaze and chest. Exhale, draw your elbows towards each other, round the spine, tuck your chin in. Inhale, elbows open wide, chest and gaze lift. Exhale, elbows together, round the spine, tuck your chin towards your chest. So work through a few of these seated cat-cows on your own. Your inhale will open you up wide, and your exhale will curl you in. Release your fingers and make your way to your hands and knees for your tabletop position. In your tabletop, you want joints stacked, shoulders over wrists, hips over knees. Spine is neutral. Bring your left palm to the center of the mat and then sweep your right arm up towards the sky. Exhale, thread that right arm partially under the left. Inhale, arm sweeps up. Exhale, thread it partially under. Inhale, arm sweeps up. This time on your exhale, send that arm all the way through, coming in to thread the needle, right side of the head and right cheek, ground on the mat. You can keep that left hand planted in near your face or extend that left arm out long for a slightly deeper variation. We'll be here for a few moments, so just settle in, taking a moment to reconnect with your breath, feeling a gentle stretch through the right side of the neck and shoulder. Take a few more rounds of breath. If that left arm is extended, go ahead and bring it in. Plant that left hand in near your face. Press into the palm. Right arm will sweep up one more time and then let it float back down to the mat to meet the left. Extend your right foot out to the side and then sink your hips back towards your left heel. Walk your hands a handprint forward. Let your head and neck hang heavy, coming into a one-legged child's pose variation. Feel the stretch through the right leg. Begin to walk your hands in towards your body, coming up onto that left knee. Right hand comes to your right leg, left arm sweeps up and overhead, getting a side body stretch. Engage your core to come up through center, left hand down, right arm sweeps up and overhead, keeping the sole of your right foot planted on the floor, and really reach that right hand to the side, getting a deep side stretch. On your next inhale, come back through center, sinking your hips back down towards your left heel, coming through that one-legged child's pose. Rock yourself back up into your tabletop on your hands and knees, and we'll take it to the other side. So plant your right hand in the center of the mat, and then inhale, sweep that left arm up, opening the chest. Exhale, thread it partially under. Inhale, arm sweeps up. Exhale, thread it partially under. Inhale, arm sweeps up. This time on your exhale, send that arm all the way through, coming down onto the left side of the head here. Again, that right hand could stay planted in near your face or extend that right arm out long to take a slightly deeper variation of your thread the needle pose. Continue to breathe as you settle into this pose for the next few moments. Maybe allowing your eyes to close if they're not already. When you're ready, plant that right hand in near your face, left arm sweeps up, and let it float back down to meet the right. Left foot extends out to the side, sink your hips back towards your right heel, walk your hands a handprint forward, and let your head and neck be completely relaxed as you settle into this one-legged child's pose. Feeling the stretch through your left leg. Begin to walk your hands in, coming up onto that right knee. Left hand to your left leg, right arm sweeps up and overhead, getting that side body stretch. Engage your core to come up through center, right hand down, left arm up and over, keeping the sole of your left foot pressed into the ground, reaching that left hand to the side, getting a nice stretch. On your next inhale, you'll come back through center through that one-legged child's pose, just as a brief transition here before rocking back up onto your hands and knees. Begin to walk your hands forward, preparing for puppy pose. So walk your hands forward and sink your chest down towards the mat. You could lower your forehead to the mat, or for a deeper stretch in the chest and shoulders, you can lift your head and place your chin on the mat. Hips stay lifted high. Feeling a nice stretch through the chest here. A few more breaths in your puppy pose. Begin to lift yourself up onto your forearms and walk your hands back in, coming back into your tabletop position. From here, we'll take a few rounds of cat-cow. So on your inhale, drop your chest, lift your gaze and tailbone. Exhale, round the spine, press the mat away from you, tucking your chin and tailbone in. Inhale, tailbone and gaze lift. Exhale, round the spine, chin and tailbone tuck in. Inhale. Exhale. Working through a few rounds of cat-cow on your own. Maybe adding in any organic movements that might be calling to you. So maybe rocking your hips side to side, wagging out the tail. Maybe shifting your hips forward and back, finding a slight spinal wave here. Just warming up the spine, whatever movements feel good. Taking some time to explore what feels right for you today. When you're ready, come back to neutral with your spine, preparing to take a couple of wrist stretches. So take your right hand and flip it around so your fingers are pointing back towards you. You'll feel a stretch through the front of the forearm, and maybe you lean back a little bit, intensifying the stretch. Release that right hand and then flip your hand so the back of your hand is down on the mat, and begin to rock a little bit forward and back. If you don't do yoga often or you're just starting out, yoga can be a lot of pressure on the wrists, so it's great to take these wrist stretches before moving on to anything more intense in your practice. Release that right hand, roll out the wrist, shake it a couple times, and then we'll take it to the other side. So flip your left palm, fingertips point back towards you, lean back into the stretch. Feeling the stretch through the forearm here. Then rock yourself back up, release that left hand, flip your hand so the back of your hand is on the mat, and begin to rock a little bit forward and back. Good. Release that left hand, roll out the wrist, shake it out. Plant your left hand down on the mat, tuck your toes, and then lift your hips and tailbone high. So coming into our first downward dog of the class. Take a moment to check in with yourself here. We want fingers spread out wide, pressing into the palms of the hands. Head, neck, and upper body are relaxed, hips lifted high. You could have a slight bend in the knees here. And heels are reaching down for the mat, not necessarily touching. Begin to pedal into the feet. So sinking one heel towards the mat and then the other. Just bicycling out the legs, working into the hamstrings. Maybe nodding your head yes, shaking your head no. Beautiful. Find stillness in your downward dog. Peek forward between your hands and take a couple of small steps forward to the top of the mat, coming into a forward fold. Knees could be bent generously here for our first forward fold of the class. Maybe you grab opposite elbows and sway a little bit side to side for your ragdoll pose. This feels great on the lower back. Release your elbows, slide your hands up your shins, rising up into a flat back. Crown of your head reaches forward. Exhale, forward fold. Press into your feet and slowly roll yourself all the way up to standing. When you get there, arms will sweep up overhead. Take your left wrist and side bend to the right. Inhale up through center. Take your right wrist, side bend to the left. Inhale through center, palms together. Ride your exhale down back into your forward fold. When you get there, plant your hands and step your feet back, coming into a high plank. We're lowering down to our belly, so you can drop your knees coming through tabletop, shift your weight forward, tuck your elbows in, and slowly lower all the way to your belly. When you get there, plant your hands underneath your shoulders. Inhale, lift your chest off the mat, coming into low cobra. Exhale, lower yourself back down. Inhale, lift the chest, engage through the upper back muscles, low cobra. One more time, exhale, come down. Inhale, lift the chest, engage the upper back, low cobra. Exhale, lower yourself back down, tuck your toes, shift your hips back towards your heels, and then lift your hips in tailbone high, coming back into your downward facing dog. We'll move through that sequence again. So peek forward between your hands, take a couple of small steps forward to the top of the mat, coming into your forward fold. Again, you could have a micro bend in the knees here. Inhale, hands slide up your shins, flat back. Exhale, fold. Root down through both feet and slowly, vertebrae by vertebrae, roll all the way up to standing. Arms sweep up overhead. This time, just bringing palms together right away. And exhale, dive over the legs, coming back into your forward fold. Plant your hands, step your feet back, coming through your high plank. You can always drop your knees on these transitions or lower down through chaturanga. And then inhale either to low cobra or all the way up to upward facing dog. Tuck your toes, send your hips back and up, coming into your downward dog. Taking a few breaths here, resetting the breath. Peek forward between your hands, step your feet to the top of the mat, forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Root down through the feet, roll all the way up to standing. Sweep your arms overhead, bringing the palms together. Exhale, forward fold. Plant your hands, step both feet back into your high plank, lower down to hover or all the way to your belly. Again, you can drop your knees and inhale, upward dog or low cobra. Tuck your toes and shift your hips back towards your heels, this time just resting in child's pose. So arms reach out long in front of you, forehead sinking down towards the mat. Reconnecting with your breath. And just begin to walk your hands over to one side. Walk your hands back through center and then walk them over to the other side. Head and neck hang heavy. Breathe. Walk your hands back through center. Lift your hips, tuck your toes, come back into your downward facing dog. Look forward between your hands, step your right foot forward in between your hands, drop that back knee, untuck your toes, lift your chest. You'll feel a stretch through that left hip flexor. You can keep your fingertips grounded and chest lifted, or reach both hands up towards the ceiling, maybe even finding a slight back bend, continuing to keep the hips pressed down. Exhale, bring your hands down to frame the foot and straighten out that front knee, shifting your hips back, coming into half splits. Feeling a good stretch through the right hamstring. Inhale, shift forward back into your lunge, fingertips down or reach both hands up. Maybe finding that slight back bend, challenging your balance. Exhale, hands down, frame the foot, shift your hips back as you straighten out that front knee, half splits. Inhale, sink forward into your lunge one more time, maybe reaching your hands up, maybe finding a back bend. Exhale, hands down, frame the foot, tuck your back toes, lift off of that back knee, and step that back foot forward to meet the front foot, finding a forward fold at the top of the mat. Inhale, rise up to that flat back. Exhale, fold. Plant your hands, step your feet back, coming through your plank. And then either dropping your knees or lowering through chaturanga. And inhale, either cobra or upward facing dog. Your choice of flow. Making your way back to your downward facing dog. Hips will lift. From your downward facing dog, peek forward between your hands, and this time step your left foot forward. Drop that back knee, untuck your toes. Either stay here with fingertips grounded and chest lifted, or again, you could reach both hands up towards the ceiling, continuing to keep your hips pressed down, feeling a stretch through that right hip flexor. If your hands are lifted, maybe you lean back, finding a slight back bend. Exhale, hands down, frame the foot, straighten out that front knee, shift your hips back, coming into your half splits, feeling a good stretch through the left hamstring. Next, inhale, sink forward into your lunge. Fingertips down or reaching both hands up. Maybe you find a slight back bend at the top, challenging your balance. Exhale, hands down, frame the foot, shift your hips back, straighten out that front leg, half splits. Shift your weight forward, coming back through your lunge. One more time, you can reach your hands up. Keep those hips pressed down. And then exhale, hands come down to frame the foot. Tuck those back toes and step your foot forward, finding your forward fold at the top of the mat. Inhale, hands slide up your shins, flat back. Exhale, fold. Plant your hands, step your feet to the back of the mat, your choice of flow, so lowering down to your belly or hover, and inhaling to cobra or upward facing dog, your choice. Either way, making your way back to your downward facing dog, hips lift. Begin to walk your hands back towards your feet, so coming into a forward fold at the back of the mat this time. When you get there, press into your feet and roll all the way up to standing. Take a big step forward with your right foot and sweep both hands up towards the ceiling, so coming into a crescent lunge, strong through that back leg and glute. Back foot will spin flat, open your arms out to a T, gaze over those front fingertips. That back foot is parallel with the back edge of the mat, warrior two. Tip your weight forward, flip your front palm, left hand comes to your left thigh, right hand reaches up for exalted warrior. Extended side angle, lift yourself up, and then right elbow comes to right thigh, left arm reaches up and overhead. Inhale, back up to your warrior two. Spin on your back toes, square your hips off towards the front of the mat and reach both hands up, coming back through crescent lunge. Step your back foot forward to the top of the mat, coming into Tadasana, mountain pose, grounding down through both feet, arms alongside your body, palms face forward, shoulders are relaxed away from the ears. And breathe. Preparing to move into tree pose. So shift your weight into your right foot and bring the sole of your left foot to your inner thigh or to your calf or ankle, whatever is most comfortable for you. Palms could stay together at heart center, or maybe you try to challenge yourself a little bit here. So maybe you sweep your arms up and overhead, growing your branches. And if you get a little wobbly and sway in the wind, don't worry, that is what trees do. Maybe you take this side bending tree variation where you bring your left forearm to your left thigh and sweep your right arm up overhead. Big balance challenge there. And when you're ready to come out of it, go ahead and just release that left foot, shake out the right foot a little bit. Plant both feet down, sweep your arms up overhead, palms together, ride the exhale down into your forward fold. Inhale, lift up to that flat back. Exhale, fold. Plant your hands, step your feet back into your plank, your choice of flow, meeting back up together in downward dog. When you get back to your downward dog, you'll begin to walk your hands towards your feet, coming into that forward fold at the back of the mat. Press into the feet, vertebrae by vertebrae. You'll roll all the way up to standing. From there, take a big step forward with your left foot, arms sweep up, crescent lunge, strong through that back leg and glute. Spin that back foot flat, open the arms out to a T, gaze over those front fingertips coming into your warrior two. Tip your weight forward, flip that front palm and lean back, right hand to your back leg, left hand reaches up to the ceiling. Engage your core to come back up through your warrior two. Left elbow to your left thigh, right arm reaches up and overhead, extended side angle. Inhale, lift back up into your warrior two. Spin on your back toes, square your hips off towards the front of the mat, reach both hands up and step that back foot forward, coming into Tadasana, mountain pose. Roll your shoulders up and back, grounding through both feet, arms alongside the body, palms face forward. And we prepare for tree on the left. So shift your weight into the left foot. Bring the sole of your right foot up to your inner thigh, to your calf or ankle. Palms could stay together at heart center, Or maybe you try to challenge yourself again here. Maybe you close your eyes. Maybe you sweep your arms up overhead, growing your branches, giving yourself grace. If you get a little wobbly, just simply coming back up into it. Maybe you take that side bending tree variation, bringing your right forearm to your right thigh and reaching that left hand up and overhead. Challenging your balance. And when you're ready to come out of it, release that right foot. Shake out that left ankle a couple of times. It's done a lot of work there. Eventually planting both feet down on the mat and sweep your arms up overhead, palms together. And this time, just begin to sit all the way down onto the mat. Extend your right leg out long and bring the sole of your left foot to your inner right thigh. Square your hips off towards that straight right leg and inhale, reach your hands up. Hinge at the hips as you fold forward over that leg. Hands will come to your shin, ankle, or maybe all the way to your foot. Inhale, find length through the spine. And exhale, fold a little bit deeper, drawing your forehead towards your knee. We'll be here for several breaths. So let your breath guide your movement. See if you can sink deeper into the stretch on your exhales. On your next inhale, begin to roll all the way up to a straight spine. Bring the soles of your feet together, knees out wide, coming into butterfly pose. Pulsing your knees up and down a couple of times here, getting some mobility in the inner hips. And then find stillness in this pose. Use your elbows to press your knees down and fold forward, bringing your forehead towards your feet. I like to use the opportunity of this pose to give myself a little foot massage in my arches. Just a little act of self-love. Begin to roll up into a tall spine and extend your left leg out long, bringing the sole of your right foot in. Inhale, sweep your hands up, and then hinge at the waist as you fold forward. Hands will come to your calf, ankle, or maybe all the way to your foot. Again, with your inhale, you find length. With your exhale, you fold deeper, forehead towards knee. Slowing down the breath. On your next inhale, roll yourself all the way back up to a straight spine. Extend both legs out in front of you, and then plant the soles of both feet down. Reach both hands forward, and last little bit of core effort here as we slowly, as slow as we can go, roll all the way down onto our back. When you get there, cross your right ankle over your left thigh, coming into our supine pigeon pose. If you feel enough of a stretch already, stay here For a little more, you can interlace your fingers behind your left thigh and pull your thigh in closer towards your body. Use that right elbow to press the right thigh out to the side. Feel the stretch through the outer right hip. Maybe rolling out the ankles here, keeping the feet relaxed. Begin to let your legs fall to the left in the shape that they're in. Left hand will come to your knee. Right arm extends out to the side. Gentle gaze over those right fingertips, or allowing your eyes to close here as you settle into this supine spinal twist. Engage your core to bring your legs back through center. Uncross your right ankle and walk your heels in so your fingertips are able to graze the backs of your heels. Inhale, press into your feet and lift your hips high, coming into bridge pose. Exhale, lower your hips down. Inhale, press into the feet, lift the hips, engage the glutes. Exhale, lower. One more time. Inhale, press into the feet, hips lift. Exhale, lower back down. Cross your left ankle over your right thigh. Again, if this is enough of a stretch for you already, go ahead and stay here. If you'd like a little more, you can interlace your fingers behind your right thigh, pulling it in close towards your body while simultaneously using your left elbow to press your left thigh out to the side. Feet are relaxed. Maybe you find a couple circles with your ankles here. And feel the stretch through the outer left hip. When you're ready, let your legs fall to the right side in the shape that they're in. Right hand comes to the top of your knee, left arm extends out to the side. Gaze over those left fingers or allow your eyes to close as you settle into your twist. Engage your core to bring your legs back up through center. Uncross your ankle, and we'll make our way into our final resting pose, shavasana. So maybe you take traditional shavasana with your legs extended out long. Maybe you like the soles of your feet planted on the mat with your knees bent, pointing up. Or maybe you like the soles of your feet together and knees out wide for more of a reclined butterfly. So take a few moments here to just explore what version of Shavasana is going to be the most comfortable for you for the next few minutes. taking a moment to just let go of any muscular effort, any breathing effort, allowing the breath to flow in and out of the body with complete ease. And I encourage you not to skip this part. So I know when I was first starting my yoga journey, I didn't quite understand the purpose of shavasana. I would sometimes skip it if I was doing yoga online, or if I was in studio, I would lay there with my eyes open, looking around the room, wondering if class was over, if I could leave. But now, after years of practice, I understand that this is actually the most important part. This is the part in your practice where you get the chance to rest the body and rest the mind, allowing all the benefits from the movement to really sink into the body on a cellular level. So take these next few moments to allow yourself, give yourself that permission to be completely relaxed. When you're ready, begin to invite some gentle movement back into the body, starting with the fingers and the toes. Eventually allowing those movements to grow bigger as you stretch out long, reaching your hands back, pointing your toes, eventually hugging your knees in towards your chest, and rolling onto your favorite side. Use your hands to press yourself up, making your way slowly back into a comfortable seat. We'll end in the same position that we began, grounding through the sit bones, tall through the spine. Bring your hands to heart center, bowing your head with gratitude. In yoga, we close our practice with the phrase Namaste, meaning the light and spirit in me sees, honors, and humbly bows to the same light and spirit that also exists in you. Namaste.